Hello everyone, it's Imran here. Welcome back to another video. Hopefully I didn't just click on something on my OBS right there. No, everything seems fine on that part, it does. But I'm going to react to the final audio story of Kiefer Adams' Thomas and Friends audio season 5 of his Thomas and Friends audio stories it is. And this one is a very special one to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the television series, which is called Thomas on television. I almost said on TV right there. But as I'm sure most of you are aware, this year, 2024, marks 40 years since the TV series is released. The TV series that lots of people, including myself, being autistic, grew up with, and the fact it's been 40 years since this television series came out. When I was born, this was arguably my favorite television show. It was. I remember having the Thomas toys. Had my own Thomas T-shirt. It is, and I just cannot believe it's been 40 years since the television series came out. Obviously, I was born in 2003, 19 years after it came out, but I know everything about Thomas. I do. I was a massive fan of the model series. I was, particularly when it was on Nick Jr. back in the 2000s. It was, and the fact the television series turns 40 years old. I mean, I remember seeing Stoddles Legend of Lost Treasure in cinema as well back in 2015, 9 years ago. Crazy to think it was nearly a decade ago since I saw that. Where has time gone? But 40 years since the television series came out, and Kieran decided to end off season 5 of his Thomas audio stories on a high note with this audio story. Yesterday, I reacted to the competition for George one. You want to see me react that out? We'll have it up in the top right corner of your screen. So yeah, this is definitely going to be it's definitely going to be interesting to see how the television series fits in the TVS canon. It does. So yeah, I'm excited for this last audio story of season 5. Crazy to think that season 5 of audio stories is already done, but to be fair, because Keith has been releasing 2 audio stories per weekend, given the fact of his current living situation of him facing eviction, it's no surprise he's doing 2. I still cannot believe it's been 40 years since the television series came out, and I really can't. And I wonder if any other fan content creators are doing anything to celebrate this occasion this year. I mean, obviously next year will be the 80th anniversary of the franchise as a whole. So, yeah, I'm definitely intrigued to see if there's going to be any other content creator besides Kiefer who's going to be celebrating this occasion. I am, but as a Thomas fan for myself, fan who's been a fan for nearly the last 21 years. I turned 21 in September. I do. I just I just cannot but I can't wait to feel the honor of reacting to this audio story I do right here. But that's enough of me rambling. Let's see how this audio story goes. Link for the I'm reacting to in the description down below as always. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get straight into this. And all I can say before heading into this one, happy 40th anniversary to the television series. (1984 to 2020).
Thomas on television. Written and told by Kiefer Adams. There was great commotion at Tidmouth Sheds one night as Gordon backed into the shed with exciting news. I've just heard from the Fat Controller that a television crew is coming to the island tomorrow, he said grandly. Oh, what are they doing? Asked James. From what I heard, said Gordon, they're looking to pitch a new TV show. They're coming to our railway to get some inspiration. Oh, that will be nice, said Toby. It's about time we had some important visitors on the island. Do you think they want to film in the countryside? Asked Percy. Or maybe they'd like to do a travelling documentary, suggested Henry. Or maybe do a splendid show about me? Asked James.
Come on,
Tucks
James.
and groans responded to this. Settle down, all of you, chuckled Edward. We won't know what it is until they announce it. All the engines could talk of nothing but the TV crew. But Thomas was rather quiet. As he listened from one engine to the other, he began to wonder what the television crew's real plans were.
That's what I want to
and
know.
how they would arrive on the island. Do you know, girls, Thomas said to Annie and Clarabelle the next morning, it would be so nice if we could take the television crew around the island ourselves. Don't get your hopes up, snorted James as he rolled in with a van of goods. I just heard from Edward. The Fat Controller's met the engine that's taken him across the island. Said to be a privately owned engine.
Privately owned
Thomas
from
was
the mainland.
disappointed. But I still think they should do a show about me, said James. Splendid red engines are a rare find, you know. James puffed away, feeling rather conceited.
Really,
Thomas
James?
was upset.
Oh,
Don't
Thomas.
worry, Thomas, said Annie. We know you're important, said Clarabel. You don't need to be on television to prove yourself. But the television crew was still plaguing Thomas's mind as he puffed off to his branch line. Meanwhile, Percy had brought some stone trucks from the quarry. He was just pulling up to the junction when a six-wheeled tank engine pulled up next to him. Excuse me, said the engine. Is this the North Western Railway? Oh, it is, said Percy. Are you here for the television crew? More like pulling the television crew's train, replied the engine grandly. Percy was impressed. What's your name? He asked. The engine was just about to reply when a smartly dressed man in a bowler hat peered out from one of the coach windows. Come along now, there's lots to do. I'm sorry, I've got to go, said the engine.
To know what the engine's
nice
name was.
meeting you.
What is his basis as well? What is the engine's basis as well? So let me know in the comments down below if you do know who the engine's basis is.
And he puffed
what the
away.
engine's basis is.
Percy was stunned. What a nice chap, he thought. He'd be just right for a television documentary. And he puffed on, feeling rather pleased that he may have figured out why the television crew had come to the island. Later that afternoon at Elsbridge, Thomas had now gotten cross.
Why?
So much so that his crew had to check him over. The television crew can have whatever they want, snorted Thomas, as long as I don't have anything to do with them. Stop complaining, Thomas, said his driver. It's teamwork that makes a railway, not TV shows. Just then the station master arrived. Could Thomas go up the line, please? He asked. The television train has broken down. Thomas has been requested to take the train up to the big station. I won't go, said Thomas. That TV train can jolly well stay there. Thomas, said Annie. We're quite ashamed. Yes, quite ashamed, said Clarabel. Come on, we can help this engine. Thomas didn't want to at first. Besides, said his driver, imagine what the Fat Controller would say if you didn't help. Thomas sighed. You're right, he said. Come on, we mustn't let the engine or the television crew down. Soon, Thomas, Annie and Clarabel were setting off up the line and to the rescue. When Thomas arrived, the engine was in a bad state. His safety valve had burst, and he couldn't go much further. The man in the bowler hat and the smartly dressed suit peered out from the coach window. Ah, you must be our rescuer, he said.
Yep,
Please get us to the big station. We have a meeting with Sir Topham. Thomas was soon coupled up to the engine and his coach. All ready? The engine whistled. Ready, said Thomas. With much puffing and wheel grit, Thomas pushed the engine and his coach down the line. You can do it! You can do it! Chimed Annie and Clarabel.
Yeah, come on, Thomas, you can do it.
I can do it! I can do it! Panted Thomas. Even the engine was telling Thomas not to give up, as he puffed slowly but surely up the line. With one final effort, Thomas brought the engine and his coach to the big station. The Fat Controller was waiting. The man in the smart suit and bowler hat stepped out of the coach with a woman in a grey and black coat.
So that's supposed to be Brittle
Sir Topham, he said. My name's Mr. Mitten, and this is my associate, Miss Allcroft. We have decided what to do for our television project. What did you have in mind? Our private engine, Audrey, said Miss Allcroft, is quite fascinated with your tank engine here. Would he mind?
Audrey, so it's a reference to the Reverend W. Audrey.
If we did a show about him and all of his adventures? The Fat Controller couldn't believe what he had heard.
Wow.
Well, Thomas, he said at last. Looks like you may be on television after all. How would you feel about that? I'd be honoured, sir. Thank you, sir, said
David
Thomas.
Midden and
He
Brittlecroft right
turned to the
there in the
crew.
TVS.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am, I'd be honoured. I know you'll do all right, Thomas, said Audrey. Thomas grinned. Between you and me,
Wow.
we know exactly how well he did on television, don't we?
Yeah. Dedicated to Brittlecroft and David Midden. Without them, Thomas's televised hope would never have been told. Wow, that is sweet. That is absolutely sweet right there. The fact that we had a dedication not only to David Midden but Brittlecroft. Croft and that engine was actually referenced to Reverend W. Audrey himself. Wow. Just wow. What a lovely nod, Kiefer. What a lovely nod to the television series right there. I'm proud to call this is a video that calls me proud to call myself a Thomas fan. I may be 20 years old, going to be turning 21 in September, but that doesn't take away from the fact that no matter how old or how little you are, or no matter how old you are to the point, there's always going to be that child aspect of you. There will always be that child aspect of you whenever it's watching the older series of Thomas the Tank Engine. It is right there, or watching the Adventures of Bluey. There's always that child aspect in you. Always that child aspect in you right there. I mean, the fact that David Midden and Brittlecroft right there. I want to make this story canon to my ultimate hybrid timeline with RWS and TVS events. Maybe I don't know how this one would fit in though, but I definitely imagine an engine being named after Audrey was. I mean, you kind of do have Wilbert. Wilbert the Forest engine, who was named after Wilbert Audrey himself right there. But I know engine named Audrey as well. I like to think that with this headcanon, there could be two engines that were honoured to the W Audrey. Obviously, Wilbert, the Forest engine, and obviously the engine Audrey himself with that basis right there. But lovely way to end off season 5 of Kiefer's of your audio stories right there, Kiefer. As for what my favorite audio story was, I think clawing it back does kind of edge out this story just because I like what happened, explained what happened to Diesel 10 between the events of Magic Railroad and Calling All Engines, but this one comes a close second. A lovely nod to the television series. And if you're a Thomas content creator out there who's watching this video or subscribed to my channel, please tell me you've also got plans you've got your own plans to celebrate the TVS, the 40th anniversary of the TVS, because I would love to see so many content creators come together to create something for the 40th anniversary of the TVS, or maybe hold that back up for next year until when the 80th anniversary happens. But that was a lovely nod right there, and I got a little bit emotional right there. I don't normally get emotional in my videos, but that I absolutely love how this story is just dedicated to the TVS. So yeah, that is that's going to conclude season 5 of Kiefer's audio stories. You want to see any of my previous Thomas reactions? Whenever it's one of Kiefer's audio stories or a Trains adaptation, I will have a playlist up on the top right corner of your screen right now. In it, it will also contain in it all the audio stories from Kiefer's season 5. It is let me know in the comments down below which one was your favorite. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button for me. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this audio story I reacted to. Also let me know in the comments down below what other videos you want me to react to next. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. Links to both of them will be in the description down below. Share this video, subscribe if you're new here, ring the bell to get notified when I upload new videos, when I post on the community tab, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!